Welcome to my Microsoft Surface Go review and why I'm returning this device. Now, first up, let me just discuss some of the key specifications that matter. This tablet weighs 1.15 pounds. It has an Intel Pentium 4415Y Gold Series CPU, Intel Graphics HD 615, a 1200 by 1800 pixel sense display, which means that it can operate with this pen rather easily, and you don't need to plug it into anything. It just works out of the gate. This does have a 8 megapixel camera on the rear. It has rated up to 9 hours of battery life and a front 5 megapixel camera, dual front-facing speakers, and micro USB or micro SD card slot expansion. And you also do have one USB-C port here on the side, a proprietary charger, but you can charge it through USB-C, so that does help out, and a nice hinge design for the device. So that's pretty much all the specs that matter. I wanted to get those out of the way really quickly before I get into why I'm returning this device. Now, let me make one thing clear. We're going to solely focus on the Microsoft Surface Go here in this video. No iPads being mentioned. I did a comparison between those two, so let's keep it focused here on this product alone. Now, let's talk about the design first of all. And let me tell you, the reason I'm returning it is not the design. The design is beautiful on this device. The bezels, yes, a little bit thick, but I could live with that because this device feels like $1,000 when it comes to its material. Got that nice magnesium on the rear, and you do have a beautiful hinge that goes all the way back, just like the new Surfaces do, and really puts it in line with its other products. So in terms of build quality, feels ultra premium, and it should for what you're going to pay with the accessories for this device. So build quality is nice. It's pretty light, not quite as light as some other devices, but it's still pretty light. So I do like the build quality overall, and that's not the reason I'm returning it. So if you're buying this solely for a premium feeling device, you're not going to beat this in this price category on most laptops or budget style laptops. This is going to be one of the best options, especially when you combine it with this nice Alcantara, type cover. So this comes with Windows 10S out of the box. I did switch it over to Windows 10, the full version, because who wants to use that Windows 10S version with no ability to install Google Chrome or Firefox or some other browser or Photoshop off the internet? People want to download these programs. So definitely you want to go ahead and switch over for free if you get a Surface Go right away. The software performance on this device is one of the major factors why I'm returning this device. I do have the 4 gig of RAM version, so you could say just get the 8 gig. That's not going to change the fact you have an Intel Pentium CPU in here. That's really what's slowing this device down here, is that Intel Pentium processor. Now, everyday light tasks are actually not bad for the Surface. It seems to perform swiftly and just fine. But I had 2 Google Chrome tabs open, and this thing crashed immediately, and that was enough for me to say I'm returning this device, because when I get into my workflow, and I was just testing it, but when I get into some real work and I need to pull this out and it needs to be quick, it's not going to do that for me. So if you're looking for that kind of speed, you're definitely not going to get it here for the Surface. Again, most people know what to expect when getting this, but it's actually a little worse than I thought when it comes to performance. It's actually quite sluggish. Paint crashed on me while I was doing a drawing, and I lost that work. So imagine doing a drawing and losing your work just because of the performance on a device. Again, consider I am using the 4 gig of RAM version, however. Let's discuss the battery life here. Rated at 9 hours, not even getting close to that in the real world. I topped out at about 6 hours of usage on best performance mode, and putting it on better battery life, you might get close to 9 hours, but then your device is ultra slow on the better battery life mode. And not every time you're going to be running on low brightness, especially if you're in university and there's lights on in the library or in your classroom. You're going to need the brightness up so you can see this display. So other than just some video watching, if you're actually using it and doing multiple things on here, this is going to run you about 6 hours of battery life. So it's not quite as good as the 9 hours as claimed. So this is a huge factor as to why I'll be returning this device. So can this device game? And the answer is yes, depending on what you're gaming with. This can game easily from the Windows App Store. These games will run just fine. But if you're going to be downloading games that are really large in size and they require a lot of graphical power, and you want to put like games off the internet on here, like download your own games, you're going to run into some huge performance losses. So if you're going to be doing gaming, my suggestion is to go ahead and just game from the apps that you can get in the Microsoft Store, which is not a ton, but there's plenty enough to have some fun on here. So yes, this device can game. Not a factor why I'm returning it, as I'm not a huge gamer. So discussing the camera, I'm not returning this for the camera. I actually did a Skype call, and it actually looked very clear on both sides. 8 megapixel camera, and it had a 5 megapixel on the front. Things turn out rather nice here. It still does do a pretty decent photo for a tablet. It's not going to be an amazing photo. Definitely don't shoot your YouTube videos with this one, but taking some document scanning, doing some, Skype calling, that stuff will be just fine with these cameras. So definitely not returning it for that fact. Good cameras here for this device overall, I think. Discussing the portability factor, this is a pain point of me returning. I actually don't want to return it for the portability. This is a really light and cute, fun Surface tablet here on this device. So in terms of portability, it's going to be great. It's very light. Even with the Alcantara cover, it's going to be a lot lighter than some of the other tablets you can get on the market. The iPad is lighter, but like if you're talking about the Surface Pro I'm talking about, or if you're talking about like an iPad Pro 12.9, this guy right here is definitely rather small And I think a lot of people are going to enjoy that. So frequent travelers will definitely like what the Surface Pro offers up when it comes to that portability factor here. Very light, very small, and that is definitely a thumbs up for the Surface Go. The keyboard attachment is super durable here on this device. I do want to mention that, and there's so much flexibility with how you can use this tablet. So you can go down like this, you can go down even further, and it just keeps going down. You can also pull the keyboard out, type on a flat surface if you would like so, or you can bring it up on a more angled surface here. So you definitely have quite a bit of options here when it comes to that design. Also, this does have micro SD card expansion, as you can see right here. I do have a 128 gigabyte card in there, and the pen works very well with this device as well. Palm rejection is not the best I've seen, but still it's not bad whatsoever for the Surface Go. It pops off really easily, but it doesn't fall off when it's in there. You can see it's not going nowhere. So very good quality there with the accessories. So the accessories are kind of a must with this device, which jacks the price up to a territory that's kind of not really, I think, worth it for the processor you get in this device. This device gives you that Pentium.